Hello everyone. Today we talk about our families and we also describe and recognize people. But before we start on today's lecture, I would like to say don't let frustration be in the way. Sometimes you listen to these videos or to these recorded lectures and you do not fathom some words and expressions, and that's okay. This is part of the process. The more you practice English, the more you will be familiar with the language. So it's a process, and you can use these videos as your practice and also to get inspired. In conversation one, we talk about our families. Let's see this dialogue. It's between Nikki and Liana. Nikki and Liana are having a conversation about their families. So let's see how they ask each other certain questions about their families. I love the new t shirt you are wearing. Thanks. My sister gave it to me for my birthday. She has good taste. How old is she? Actually, she is the same age as me, 24. We are twins. Look. Here's a photo of us together. Wow, you really look alike. And who's that? That's my brother, Joseph. He's a musician. Is he married? Yes, he is. And he has two children, Anna and Max. You look too young to be an aunt. Do they live near you? No, they live far away, but they are coming here to visit soon. I cannot wait to see them again. So, tell me about your family. Do you have any brothers and sisters? Yes, I have three brothers, no, but no sisters. They are all younger than me. I am the oldest. So, in this dialogue, both characters are talking about their families. They ask each others about their brothers and sisters, whether they are married, how old they are. So, we are going to discuss and break down this conversation or this dialogue in a few seconds. Now, if you want to ask the other person to describe their family to you, you ask in this way: tell me about your family. Tell me about your family. Do you have any brothers and sisters, or uh, have you got any brothers and sisters? That is how you describe, or that is how you ask other people to describe their family to you. The answer might be yes, I have brothers and sisters, or yes, I have three brothers but no sisters, or yes, I have one brother and one sister. Families um, vary, as you know. So you may ask people to describe their family, and you might be asked to describe your family. So here is how you ask and how you reply. Sometimes you are an only child, so you say, no, I am an only child. Or if you have a twin, you can say, yes, we are twins, because if you look alike a brother or a sister of yours. These practices are going to be done on our live electronic lecture. Also, there is situation in which you get asked to say whether your brothers and sisters are married or single. When someone is married, it means that he is the husband of a woman, and if she is married, it means that she is the wife of a certain man out there. So people are either married or single. If that makes any sense. Also, sometimes you ask people to tell you whether they have children or not, and you might get asked the same. So, does he have any children or does she have any children? You ask in this way about the marital status, whether married or single, and you also can ask about whether their family members have any children at all. Now let's get into talking about age. Sometimes you need to ask other people how old their siblings are. Siblings, it means sisters and brothers. Siblings. You ask in this way: how old is your sister, or how old is your brother? The answer might be she is 24, or he is 18, or he is 12. Okay? Sometimes people ask you um, to talk about your siblings' ages from oldest to youngest, or from youngest to oldest, in this way. How old are your brothers or sisters, or how old are your siblings? You might begin from the oldest to the youngest, or from the youngest to the oldest. Sometimes also you get asked whether you are the oldest of your siblings or the youngest of your siblings. Um, so you may ask or get asked in this way: are you the oldest or the youngest? The answer might be yes, I am the oldest, or yes, I am the youngest, or no, I am the youngest, or no, I am the oldest. I hope everything is clear. The most important thing about this conversation is being able to ask other people uh, whether about their siblings' age, and also about their marital status, and whether they have children or not, whether they are parents or not. Now let's get into the other conversation. In the other conversation, we have the same character whose name is Nikki, but we have also another new character to us whose name is Jack. Now, um, let's read this conversation and break it down later. Hi, Jack. You are in Liana's class, aren't you? Could you give this to her for me? She is already in class and I have to run. Sure, no problem. But what does Liana look like? Is she the girl with really short hair and long earrings? Oh, you don't know Liana. Do you see the girl sitting right at the back of the class? She is pretty short and slim. In her mid 20s, she has long black hair. Mm, I don't see anyone like that. What's she wearing? She's wearing a black t-shirt. Oh, yes, I see her. I'll give this to her. No problem. Thanks. Now, we see that Nikki describing her friend Liana to Jack, whose Liana is a classmate that he cannot recognize. So let's break this down. We have the same thing, asking about age. How old is she, or how old is he? Sometimes you describe people, or you can recognize people by means of their age. That is an old woman, that is an old man, that is a middle aged man, that's a young woman, that is a teenager, that's a child. So their age is uh, a characteristic of yours. And it is also a characteristic of other people. You can recognize people by their age. So you ask about their age by saying how old is she, or how old is he, or how old are they. And as I said, you either give how old they are specifically by saying she is 29, or he is uh, 30. But you can also describe in what stage are they in their life, if that makes any sense. For instance, you can say um, she is in her late 40s, or he is in his early 30s, or he is a middle aged, or he is just a teenager. So your age is a characteristic of yours. Now, when we describe people, we describe their physical appearance, their physical appearance, what they look like, what they look like, their features, their features. Now, you can describe people by means of their uh, height, whether they are tall or short. You can describe people by means of their weight, whether they are slim or heavy, um, or slender or bulky. Okay, so by means of their weight. You can also describe people by the color and texture of their hair, whether their hair is brown, blonde, gray, red, black, by the hair color. You can also describe people by means of the texture of their hair, whether the hair is straight, is curly, is wavy, wispy. Also, you can by describe people by the length of their hair, what is whether it is short, or long. Okay, so all of these are physical features that a person has, and you describe that person um, through them. When I first saw this picture, it occurred to me that sometimes we can describe people also by means of their race and by means of their ethnicity. For instance, we can say uh, this is a brown Indian girl, or this is a white person, or a black man, or an Asian woman, or an Asian man, a Vietnamese woman, um, a Korean man, a Japanese uh, person. So we can describe people sometimes by means of their ethnicities and race. It is not something that is uh, touched upon in this book, but I think it is a good reminder. Also, for the physical description, sometimes people are described as graceful, for instance, especially women. Like these adjectives that you don't really can put your hand on what they mean by graceful, but you know that it is a person that is a good looking person. Now we can also describe people by means of their clothing items, clothing items, by means of what they are wearing at the moment, whether they are wearing boots, caps, heels, handbags, belts, um, scarf, blazers, um, t-shirts, trousers, skirts. All of these clothing items you can use to describe people. For example, you can say the girl with the purple skirt, or the woman with the scarf around her neck, or the man with the red tie. All of these clothing items can be used alongside the colors, of course, to describe people and recognize them.